Welcome, dreamers. Ready to relax and unwind? Get comfy and let our soft night tales take you to magical places. Enjoy.
You know that feeling when you wake up and you're not sure if you're dreaming or awake? Now imagine it happens in the middle of the night, only, instead of waking up in your own bed, you find yourself in a beautiful forest under a sky full of stars. What would you do? This is the story of a young man named Noah, who found himself in just that situation, lost, but not frightened, confused but curious. In the heart of the forest, with only the stars to guide him, Noah would discover that sometimes, the best way to find your way home is not by rushing back, but by taking a deep breath, and allowing the world to show you its secrets. So, let's settle in for a calm, mysterious journey, one that will make you look at the world just a little differently. Noah had always been an adventurous soul. The kind of person who loved getting lost in the pages of books about distant lands and deep, ancient forests. But on this particular evening, something about the world felt different. It was late, later than he'd expected, and he had wandered off the trail during a peaceful hike in the woods near his home. The evening was calm, with only the soft chirp of crickets and the distant call of owls echoing through the trees. As he walked, the forest seemed to change around him. The trees, usually familiar, now felt strange and vast. The usual hum of life in the woods had quieted, replaced by an almost serene silence, the kind you could only find in a place untouched by human hands. Noah paused, glancing around, trying to make sense of his surroundings. The path was gone. The faint moonlight filtered through the branches above, but it wasn't enough to see clearly. His breath quickened for a moment, the sense of being lost starting to sink in. But just as the anxiety began to rise, something unusual happened. A soft, glowing light appeared in the distance, moving gently like a firefly. Noah's curiosity outweighed his fear, and he followed it. As he stepped forward, the light seemed to dance, always staying just out of reach. It wasn't like any light he'd ever seen before, it wasn't harsh or bright. Instead, it was a soft, inviting glow, like the stars had come down to the earth to greet him. He followed the light deeper into the forest, his footsteps light on the soft ground, as if the earth itself were guiding him. Soon the trees began to thin, and he entered a clearing unlike any he had ever seen. In the center of the clearing stood a massive, ancient tree. Its trunk was twisted and wide, its roots sprawling like tendrils into the earth. The tree seemed to hum with energy, as if it were alive in a way Noah had never imagined. And there, standing beneath its branches, was someone waiting. She was unlike anyone Noah had ever seen. A woman, though her age was impossible to guess. Her hair was silver, like the moonlight itself, flowing gently around her shoulders in soft waves. Her eyes, deep and dark like the night sky, held a quiet wisdom. She wore simple, flowing robes in colors that seemed to shift with the light around her, blending seamlessly with the forest. Noah stood still, feeling a calmness wash over him that was almost too peaceful to describe. The woman didn't speak at first. Instead, she smiled, a serene expression on her face, as if she had been waiting for him. "You're lost," she said, her voice gentle, like a breeze passing through leaves. Noah blinked, startled by how she seemed to know. I think I am," he said. "But I didn't mean to be." The woman nodded. "No one ever means to get lost. But sometimes, it's the best thing that can happen." She stepped forward, her feet barely making a sound on the soft grass, and gestured for him to follow. "Come. Let me show you something." Noah followed her as she led him through the clearing, under the wide branches of the ancient tree. The light seemed to follow them, glowing softly, leading the way. It wasn't long before they reached a small pond, its surface smooth as glass. The woman crouched beside the water, and Noah knelt down beside her. The surface of the pond reflected the stars above, but it wasn't just the stars. There were other lights, glowing softly beneath the water, as if something was alive in the depths. She motioned for him to look deeper, and as he did, he saw something incredible. The lights beneath the water began to shift and move, forming shapes, swirling like living constellations. He leaned closer, entranced by the beauty of it. The water felt as though it was showing him the world in a way he'd never seen before, calm, endless, and full of wonder. "You see?" the woman whispered. "The world has many layers, Noah. Sometimes, we only see what's on the surface, but if we look deeper, we find things we never expected. Things that were always there." Noah's heart beat quietly, the peaceful atmosphere wrapping around him like a soft blanket. He had so many questions, but for the first time in a long while, he didn't feel the need to ask. It felt as though the answers would come in their own time. The woman's smile deepened as she looked up at him. "You've been seeking something, haven't you? Answers, perhaps. A sense of belonging." Noah nodded, not sure how she knew, but feeling strangely understood. "I guess I have. The answers aren't always what we expect," she said, her voice soft. "But the journey to find them? That's where the magic is. Not in the destination, but in the discovery." Noah took a deep breath, the weight in his chest easing. The forest around him felt alive with possibilities, and he realized something important. He wasn't lost at all. He was exactly where he needed to be. As the stars shone brightly above, he smiled. "I think I understand," he said softly. "Maybe the journey itself is what matters." The woman nodded, her silver hair glinting in the moonlight. "Exactly," and with that, the soft glow of the firefly-like light began to fade, and the woman stood. "It's time for you to return now, Noah," she said. "The forest has shown you what you needed to see. Remember what you've learned." Noah nodded, feeling calm and centered. The forest no longer felt unfamiliar or frightening. He turned to walk back along the path, the soft glow of the stars lighting the way. As he made his way home, the peaceful feeling stayed with him, and he realized that sometimes, it's not about finding the right path, it's about taking the time to see the beauty of the world around you, no matter where you are. The night was quiet, peaceful, and Noah walked back with a sense of calm he had never known. As he reached the edge of the forest, he took one last look at the glowing lights of the trees and the pond, the stars reflecting in the water. Everything seemed to make sense in that moment. The world was full of wonder, and there was beauty in every step. Noah never looked at the world the same way again. The forest, the stars, the quiet hum of nature, they all seemed like old friends, offering him a glimpse into the deeper rhythm of life. And though he would always be seeking new adventures, he knew that sometimes, the best discovery was the peace that came from simply being present. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe for more peaceful journeys and bedtime tales. Thank you for being part of our community.